Hello YouTube, it's Mr. Magz here, and I have a question. Where are all the stupid Nintendo articles? Now, if you weren't really aware, or if you weren't really keeping up with game journalism during the Wii U era, every other day it seemed, there would be another fluff piece article or fluff video that that solely existed to bash the Wii U and bash Nintendo as a whole. I saw countless Nintendo should go third party articles and videos. The Wii U is failing. What's Nintendo gonna do next? Just so many different things that were that had no thought put into them, no research behind them. There were simply knee jerk reactions to something Nintendo did, or even just something just out of nowhere a lot of times. Um, and this also kind of spilled into 3DS stuff a lot too, especially when the 3DS first in the first couple of years. Now, granted, the 3DS didn't sell all that well in its first couple of years. Neither and the Wii U didn't sell well throughout its entire lifetime. So I can understand why people would make articles and make videos talking about the fact that it's not selling that well. That's fine. But almost every single article or video had this angle to it that was as if Nintendo, because this one system was failing, Nintendo should just give up. Um, and after the 3DS started to get successful, the Wii U started failing, so they just moved straight over to the Wii U. Um, and now that the Switch is out, I've been looking. I've legitimately been looking. I've gone to websites that I've done Super Nintendo article videos on before. I've gone to Nintendo hater YouTube channels. They just kind of seem to be quieter than usual. There are still some videos out there for sure, but as far as the article front, there aren't really that many stupid Nintendo articles, as I like to call them, especially not as many as there were just even 6 months ago. Ever since the Switch started getting successful, after I'd say April, they just kind of stopped. There was an influx of articles in the first month and the first month or two of the Switch, and of course quite a few leading up to the Switch's launch, and I documented quite a few of those on here on this YouTube channel, talking about, oh, the Switch, well, there's no possible way it can succeed because the Wii U failed. And it seems like Nintendo hasn't learned anything from the Switch, even though it hadn't come out yet, and every single point they made was wrong. But there were still just those types of articles. And like I said, everything that these people tried to push um, to people who really were only reading these because they wanted to agree with it, essentially, every single thing they said turned out to be wrong. People were saying that the Switch can't possibly sell at $300. It's selling pretty well. The Switch looks too much like the Wii U. It's not going to sell. It's selling pretty well. The Switch isn't going to get any third party support. Granted, it's not getting every third party game, but it's getting a significant amount of third party games. I mentioned in a previous video, like I said, it's not getting every third party game, but it's getting the right kind of third party. It's getting Doom, a game that no one actually thought would run on the system. Mega Man 11 was just announced for it. And every other Mega Man game known to man is coming to the system sometime next year. Pretty much every single Japanese developer is realizing they messed up. They need to start supporting this thing now because, especially in Japan, there is a lot of money on the table that they're just missing because their games aren't on the system. So the fact that Nintendo is actually proving a lot of these articles wrong just honestly makes me very happy. And I'm just curious, is it solely because Nintendo is actually doing pretty well now that these articles aren't being made as consistently. Because, like I said, there are a couple here and there, but they're usually pretty short, and they're usually just they're so like for a lot of them there is some truth in there, but it's not worth putting a video out about it. They're misinformed, but like I can kind of see where a lot of them are coming from. A lot of them are just a lot of the articles I've been reading lately are just here is why I'm personally not getting one because I'm a Sony or Xbox or PC gamer and the system just doesn't appeal to me. And that's fine. You can have your opinions. But when your opinions are wrong, and yes, there is a such thing as wrong opinion when it comes to certain things, which was the majority of the cases for the for the dumb articles written about 3DS and Wii U, and a lot of them written about the Switch prior to launch. When your opinions are just wrong, I'm sorry, you have no bearing with me personally. Um, so I'm just curious: is it solely because the Switch is selling well that those articles aren't being made as much? And I'm gonna go with yes because, like I said, after the first I'm gonna say month, Nintendo Switch is gonna fail our articles. Just kind of just stopped happening. Um, and that's probably because in its first month it sold 2.7 million. It sold out instantly. Now, granted, that's mostly because Nintendo didn't have the stock allotted. I've consistently said I feel Nintendo should have had at least 3 million in the market at launch, but they didn't. They airshipped in over 700,000 more just to get a few more out there, and they sold over 7.2 million just in March alone, and then another million or so in April. And Mario Kart 8 is already a 4 million seller. Same with Zelda. Um, so the fact that this system clearly is showing potential to sell extremely well, third parties are already saying, "Yeah, we messed up. We're going to be announcing a lot of games soon." Same thing. I know Capcom said that. I know Bandai Namco said that. I think Ubisoft said that a significant amount of um, of sales came from the Nintendo Switch, so they're probably going to be supporting that more diligently in the future. Um, so yeah, it's almost as if these people who were making these dumb articles were just riding the bandwagon and didn't actually believe anything they were saying. Now you could just say, "Oh, they were giving a separate viewpoint," or "Oh, they were just being skeptical." But some of the language and some of the just false truths. A lot of these articles, especially the one that was made right after the January Direct, I think the video is or the article itself is called "Nintendo Switch will be Nintendo's last console, and that's a good thing." I definitely did a video on that. You can go check it out. Just there was so much stuff that was just incorrect about that article that at that point it can't just be blind fanboyism. It has to be the fact that they just they're just trying to ride the bandwagon of oh the Wii U failed, so this has to fail as well. I have to appease the people who I know are going to read this just because they're Nintendo haters. And those types of articles thrived back a couple years ago when the Wii U was failing. And a lot of people did want to continue to see it fail, and they wanted to see people, write articles and make videos about that. But now that the Switch is actually doing well, and a lot of these Nintendo hater YouTube channel personalities, they're actually buying the system. Like there are so many like prominent channels that were dedicated to hating on the Wii U gone through their channels recently, and they've actually bought the Switch for themselves. Now, granted, some of them may or may not have been like gifted to them, but still they have one. So clearly, I feel like Nintendo is doing something right here. People aren't just blindly hating this thing simply because it has a Nintendo branding on it, which tells you a lot about how well Nintendo did, how well they corrected this thing just based on the mistakes they did with the Wii U. And also it just shows you the integrity of the game journalists and the YouTubers who are making these types of content. I don't I honestly feel like if the Switch had if the Wii U had maybe had its first year, like 2013 hadn't really sold all that well. Because the 3DS, like I said, its first year or two, it didn't sell that well. And there were multiple articles and videos about the fact that this thing is going to fail. And then it picked right back up in 2013 when Pokemon came out. And a little before then, but that was the main jumping off point. If the Wii U had done a similar jump start once Mario Kart 8 came out and then Bayonetta 2 and then Smash Bros, if it had picked up and sold like 10 million that year, I'm pretty sure people would have backed off a significant amount. I'm pretty sure people wouldn't have continually bashed this thing and bashed Nintendo's judgment on every single aspect of every business decision that they ever made. And I'm pretty sure people would have looked at the Switch with much more eagerness than what they did, and then they wouldn't have had to been proven wrong. So yeah, there wasn't really any structure to this video. This was just thoughts off the top of my head. I don't even know if any of this made any sense, but comment down below. Why do you think there are no more stupid Nintendo articles? Have you seen any more like blatantly just really, really bad, dumb articles lately regarding the Nintendo Switch or anything else Nintendo related? Um, do you have a Switch? And if you do, what was your opinion of the Wii U? Did you get the Switch despite not liking the Wii U, or did you get the Switch because you did enjoy the Wii U and you just want to continue on that Nintendo road? So yeah, leave comments down below. I'd like to have a discussion going, and I'll see you next time.